So first and foremost, that was my first ever anxiety attack. I didn't think that, so like when I hear people talk about panic attacks, you hear like, you know, people can't breathe, there's chest tightness and things like that. And as someone who had never experienced that before, I had no idea it was a physical feeling. I'll even take you back to the night. You know, I was with this girl, the one that we're talking about. And this was the first time we had hung out together, right? This was my first, and this was literally one of the first times that I could say I was like this kind of intimate with this woman, right? And I have no idea what came over me. We were in this painting event. We're literally watching it, and I was a little quiet, you know, because this was unfamiliar to me, you know. I'd been with that other relationship for so long and committed myself so long to that. This was a brand new experience to me. So I'm kind of taking it all in. And she nudges me and asks me, she's like, you know, are you always this quiet? I'll never forget that. She asked me that question, right? And all of a sudden, my mind just starts rushing back to the prior relationship. I kid you not, I cannot explain it. To me, it doesn't even make any sense. But for whatever reason, in that moment when she asked me that, it took me back to in that relationship. I don't know if her asking me that kind of triggered me in some form or fashion, but I literally felt like I could not breathe. And my chest literally got tight. And I told her, I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm literally like struggling. I go to the bathroom. I'm breathing heavy, I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, yo, chill out. Like, what is going on with you, right? And I'm breathing heavy, and then it's not going away. It's only getting worse to the point I feel like I'm about to fucking pass out. So I bolt out the door and go out to the steps of the venue, like outside. I like look to the sky and I'm like, what was that? And then eventually I start to kind of level out. And then and I'm just flabbergasted. Like nothing, like I said, has ever happened to me before. I go back into the venue and I sit down next to her and I was just like, you had to, like, you could see it on her face that she knew something was up. She didn't know exactly what happened. So I just told her, I was like, listen, I'm sorry. I know that might've been kind of weird, but I legit had an anxiety attack and I have no idea why. Imagine that on a state.
Is it that you didn't know why, or was it that you just was not comfortable to share that with her?
Well, no, because at this point in time, I had started to kind of open up, like from my first, I had already recorded at this time like my first album, and I had started doing like the Let's Just Be Honest stuff. Okay. So like, I was getting more comfortable being expressive. So I was like, you know, and it actually happened, you know, so I'm not gonna fabricate, I'm not gonna, right. You know, I was real with her. I was like, you know, somebody you just met really just got up, ran to the bathroom, right. Came out the bathroom and ran outside. And there's no way you didn't see that. I could tell by her face. So I was like, I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, that's what happened. I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. And you know, it's funny, she could have really just got up and was like, okay, yeah, I'm not calling this person again, right? She didn't do that though, you know, which was dope, but I just think it was just a manifestation of something deeper that, you know, at that point in time I hadn't really discussed yet.
Right. That's kind of what I was asking. Like, were you not comfortable in a sense sharing or being so vulnerable with her? Because this is right after you get out of a long-term relationship situation, correct?
Yes.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was that duration? You know, was there a long time in between that before you started dating again? Like,
what was the timeline? I think, because I get back home, I record Tragic Hero, my first album, and then I put it out, and I actually met her at my listening party. So she had known about the music I was making prior to. Right. And we started seeing each other slowly after that. So it was about like a year after I got back. So very raw, fresh out of the situation now that I think about it and say the timeline out loud. So it's definitely very, very raw. And I just kind of did it just because I was like, yo, this is a beautiful girl into you, you know, and it's like, do something about it. Like, go be the man you want to be deep down and stop being, you know, not scared, but, you know, like, be a man. Go talk to the woman that wants to talk to you, you know?
Completely.
It's kind of what was going on in my head at the time.
Okay. So I wanna quote you, what you were saying in Conflicted. I know you think I only party and fuck, but all I ever done is make you enough. When we was in Atlanta, life really sucked. I represent a piece that you never touch. You're clearly fighting yourself.
Absolutely.
You're battling yourself at this point. Conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. Deep dive into that for me.
So it's kind of crazy, 'cause I feel like it really is coming up like a lot now. The fact that I'm suppressing something or suppressing someone, something, and like I said, it's that other half of me, the half of me that, because here's the thing too. So I'm gonna pivot a little bit. So in a lot of my music, there is this side of me that's aggressive, assertive, borderline cocky, arrogant, whatever you want to call it, right? And I feel like it plays out sometimes through drinking, through women, through asserting power in some sort of way or fashion, right? And I feel like on the surface level, it sounds like it's just, you know, me just, like I said, being assertive, asserting power, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I really think deep down it's just the side of me that's telling me to be confident in myself. That is just telling me to believe in yourself. So like, that voice is saying, I know you think I like to party and fuck all I've ever done, blah, 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 right? Because it's saying, I know you think that I'm just these external validation things or these external pleasures, right? When in reality, I'm just telling you to be confident in yourself.
So you're talking to yourself.
I am. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the perspective of where you're talking from deals with something that you're running from almost. Is that?
Yeah, it's like,
there's more to this.
yeah, there definitely is.
Okay. I would love to continue deep diving. Just know next time, I'm going to ask you some questions that you might not like, but we'll talk about that next time.
That's fair.